Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa rabbil alameen. As-salatu was-salam ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ahlan wa sahlan bikum. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh wa ikhwani ikhwati fi din. Salamu ala mani tabahuda la ikhwani ikhwati fi Africa, Europa, America, Caribbean, wa kulli makan. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa ikhwani ikhwati fi Africa, Europa, America, Wakula McCann, Anjurama, to my brothers and sisters in the fullback community. And today, brothers and sisters, I will continue on my series of the road to Abuja, and I'll be covering these aspects with this beautiful depiction here of our ancestral sister here, and we'll go through these particular aspects and the importance of why I'm advocating for this Council of 40. And so I'll cover the collisions of the two worlds. All of these will be covered today, and I'll continue my segments on this very important topic because we all want to see peace, and we want to figure out a way to get the killing and the mayhem to stop. And we want to find a solution for the government not to outsource its security to the Americans or any other Europeans, because their what we say their mode is blood. It's a blood covenant. They don't care about the people. They're called in for something. They don't care who they kill. So we want to get our government in Nigeria to look at other means, and the Council 40 provides a very, very viable solution. So with that said, I will start here now on this topic here. In the last segment, I laid down the foundation of the council's legitimacy and whatnot. You saw the depictions I gave. You have the Amir, you have the 5 Modibos who will do the introductions and examine the Akida of all of the prospective scholars and intellectuals. And then we will then form the Council 40. So you remember the Amir has two advisors, then you have the Madibos, and then you have the Council 40, and then you have the Council of 100. Council of 100 is the one who does the investigation for the council, and so forth and so on. So we went through that segment of it, and here, so today we'll talk about the arrival. We've already now have discussed, we've already formulated, we have our Council of 40, we have our Council of 100. Now it's time for us to go to Abuja and as a collective international body, intellectual body, and the council versus the parliament and legislative branch. In part 4, I will call another segment. I will talk about the structural integrity of our security and Hezbollah protocols. And then finally, the part 5, we'll look at the Sahelian, the horizon. I believe that, again, Nigeria could be the answer to the key to many of the problems in the Sahel if we accomplish this Fulani-based governance and trouble mediation, and then we can go a long way into bringing some peace and understanding in the Sahel, which we need. So this is a potent, stark, uncompromising opening. We are planning a picture of an inevitable collision between the decaying system and a fragmented, deeply rooted civilization in the north. We know both what's going on in the south and what's in the north is a whole different world. And we have contradictions in each. And this is what we talk about here. It's a collision. This is why we have a disconnect between the south and the north. We have a big disconnect. We have to find some people to mediate. The Council of 40 would be beautiful in this regard to mediate, to come down to Abuja and whatnot. So this, we're looking at something And we are the Fulani Council of 40. And we should promote this because this is what our ancestral fathers used as a guide, as you heard me talk about now for weeks, to mediate problems and so forth. And so when we look at this, we have to ask, how do we defeat a well-oiled machine? A system molded in colonial history, sustained in deceit, hollowed out by moral and societal corruption. We know the governments in Africa, we understand all, not only Nigeria, it goes all the way across. From North Africa down to South Africa, we have problem in governance and moral and societal corruption. We have that. And this is, we have to come to grips when you have a large government, even the United States government is not squeaky clean. We know that. There's a lot of waste and hidden corruption in it. So Africa is no different. This is around the world where you have this type of corruption. So we have to look at this and whatnot. They do not govern the North in the way it should be governed. And they have disdain for us because it's mostly Muslim. And plus, we had all of the great historical Muslim leaders in the North. And so, and the way of life is Islamic, primarily in the North. And this is the contention and so forth. And then we have the paradox of the North, which this also adds to our problem. Then we have the North, the contradiction of worlds, the Islamic stronghold, hold of brilliant ulama and storied universities and schools and stuff like that, yet trapped in the cycle of chaos. Our communities are still living in the 18th century wisdom, caught in the crosshairs of 21st century nightmare. We have our ulama and fuqaha and our intelligent intellectuals, we have a problem. We have some are talking, some are not talking. Others have retreated. We have, we have some scholars are mad at the others, and we can't get together. That's why the Council of 40 would be an answer, because once we speak with one voice, we can really get down to good business. And we stop a lot of the contradictions that we have among ourselves in the North, because in the North it's not clean. We know that. And even among our ulama, it's not clean as well. We have to clean that up. It's a hotbed of insurgency, both criminal, ideological driven. The farmer-herder ordeal, the rise of the, ethnic militias and so forth and so on. We all know what's going on with that. Now we go into part 3 here, where we have the necessary pivot, the introduction of the council. For years, we have been fragmented. We have been mysterious, the mysterious North, brilliant but disconnected, storied but silent, historical but reactive. The fragmentation is exactly what Abuja machine relies on. They win because we are not united. If the North got united, we could present a united front, and we can present a big problem to the South, meaning that the South cannot push us around anymore. As you heard me talk about the other day, we have some scholars that go down to meet with Abuja, but that's nothing. It's a few here and there, and they don't have anything behind them. Here we would have an organization, as you know we had done in the past. You saw I presented this organization. We would have a big, beautiful organization, and it would signify something. But the tide has turned. We have stopped now asking for permission. The council will be formed. We'll stop asking for permission. We'll start organizing our own sovereignty. We have mobilized statesmen. We have scientists, historians. We have medieval class. We have intellectuals. We have wealthy class. We have many different individuals within the Fulbe community. We have many, and we are no longer a mysterious entity. That's why we have to get together. Our Fulani brothers and sisters have to get together. We have to form this council. We must do it, and for our own preservation. We must do this. We bring the Council of 40 not as a new party, not as a political movement, but as a restoration of a immune system that's been defending this land for centuries. The Fulani in particular, and the Sahel, the Western Sahel, going all the way to the Eastern Sahel, the Fulani have always been protectors of it. We've had we have more sultanates than anyone else. This is why we have to have this reorganized again. The Council of 40 is the answers, brothers and sisters. This is the answer to maybe many of our problems that we have. We cannot address Abuja with a disconnection we have in the north now. We have ulama over here. We have ulama over here. We have nobody talking. We have some who are talking. And then we have no protection for those like Sheikh Gumi who tried to organize something. But when he went to, he got some of the hostages away, yes, but he can't bring others to the table because we have no concessions from Abuja except blood. And so this is some of the things why we have to have a whole big system so we can approach them as a united front. Okay, now we go to another section here, the bridge. Why the ancestral governance is only viable solution. Many ask why we look at the past to resolve crisis of the present. The answer is found in the failure of the current reality. We look at Abuja. Abuja can have no answer for us in the north. It is not. It's because it's secular and it's so massive. It does not have the means to tackle a ideological insurgency. They don't have that. They just don't have the model for that. And so that's why they want to outsource it for foreigners to come in, the Tubab countries to come in to do the security for them. And this is a problem that we have with this. The Council of 40 in its foresight sees the nation as a nation's quagmire. The Council of 40, because these are brilliant scholars and intellectuals and students of knowledge, they will know. They can look, they can see, they can look at and analyze the South, Abuja, then they can look in the North and analyze. And this will get the ball rolling where they can analyze the situation and they can say, okay, look, we have this problem, we can attack it in this way. The Council of 40 vision is timely for three specific reasons. The failure of the foreign first security. This is why the Council of 40 is needed to go to Abuja. The security outsourcing to the Americans in particular. As confirmed, our regional security situation in 2006 withdrawal Western forces and the limitation of regional military alliance have left a governance gap. The population is caught between armed groups and state forces with their no truth mediator to bridge the divide. This is where the Council of 40 come in. The Americans dropped truth bomb by cutting its aid to the nation. You know what has happened here a couple of days ago. The Americans talked crazy about Nigeria, talked bad about Nigeria, basically treating it like a stepchild. Then they turn back around and it's like they treating us like children. Like they do in the United States. You have parents and the child acts up, so they don't give the allowance no more. This is what they've done to us. The Americans say, okay, you know what, Nigeria, you Nigerians, you guys are acting up. I'm going to cut your aid. And this is what they have treated us like we're children. This is why we have to bring some normalcy and some sanity to this situation. The demand for indigenous legitimacy across the Sahel, there is a growing hunger for solutions rooted in local traditions, Islamic jurisprudence, and communal identity. We need this. We have to have that, brothers and sisters, because the colonial model is not working. The colonial democratic model is not working. It's only bringing more and more strife and insurgency. We see that it's not working, and we have to come together and formulate something to where we can bring the different parties to the table and then get the ball rolling. And then number 3 here, the council model. Your council model of 40 offers something that the foreign military or the governments cannot. A country of immense scale becomes a proof of concept that can be exported. This is important. And the flaws of outsourced security. The current Nigerian security apparatus relies on foreign doctrines, tactics imported from environments that have no connection to the Sahel. And this is important, brothers and sisters. You bring a Tubab in. I don't care how meaningful they are. They are not part of the. They are not black folk. They're not West Africans. They're not Fulani. They're not Hausa or they're not Kapele. They're not Mende or Mendika. Okay, they're not Tiv. They're not Yoruba. They're not Assyria. All the ethnic groups. They're not that. So they don't have a clue to our way of life here. So they figure only thing to do is just drop bombs and kill us. They're not part of the fabric. They don't have an investment in the land. This is our ancestors. This is our land. They don't have no investment except taking the resources from us. By treating our complex community tensions as merely criminal or terrorist threats to extinguish by force, dropping bombs, killing hundreds of villagers, this is their way of doing it. When you treat the population as an enemy, the population ceases to view the state as a protector. This is why we have the problem, brothers and sisters. Now, because what is happening in the North, they don't look at the state as a protector. They look at it as an enemy. That's why they fight it. And now when they bring in white faces, Tubab, to come in to fight them, this even adds more anger towards Abuja. And this is why we have to do something to get a foothold of this. It feeds the vacuum left by the loss of the local trust. And this is a valuable solution is that Council 40. And I'm going to show you some depictions, brothers and sisters, how it most likely could start to look. Because when we have the council here coming to the now coming, they're in Abuja now. This is over here to your left is our fabulous Fulani scholars and Modibo who have been picked now to represent the North. And they'll come, and these are some of the representatives here of the 40. They will come and meet with the parliament branch and so forth, and they will have a meeting to discuss the problems of the North, to stop this killing. We have our brothers killing in the North, but what we're trying to do here is by getting the ball rolling to start to talk to Abuja, get them to stop the onslaught of the AK-47 and downrange bombing and so forth, and let the Fulani scholars in particular to start to do their job. Give them sanctions where they can go and do their job to talk to the Mujahideen, because that's a different animal all in itself. When you talk to Mujahideen, it's one, and then when you the two-headed monster, then you got the bandits, and that's a different. Because this is a criminal organization that's finance driven. So you got these two. The scholars you have over the left are equipped to deal with both of these groups. This is why when they come to Abuja as a united front, the Council 40 will then present these situations and discuss that with the parliament branch. And that's a very, very valuable situation. And then we have the Council of 40 now meeting with the legislative branch and so forth, explaining the history behind the Council of 40. And it's not a entity, a political entity. It's not a Islamic group, or it's not a what you call a advocacy group like Mayate Allah. It's nothing like that. Here you have scholars who are blessed by Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given them divine favor, who's given them this knowledge and wisdom and so forth, and how to mediate. And they go into Abuja in strength, in unity, not one, not Sheikh Gumi going by himself with a couple of others, brothers, and that's it. Now we have a unified charter, and we'll go to the South to discuss with the parliament and discuss with the legislative branch what we can do and how we can bring peace to the North and whatnot and so forth. And this is another good depiction on what it could be like when we do go to Abuja, and we're on our way. Now we got the Council 40 has been formulated. Now they're on the way to Abuja. And this is why this is a big step. As you can see, the depictions that I've given you here. Let me see. I think I gave that one. Let me give this other here, here, and this is okay. Yes, it's the same one, and we are. Yeah, here we go. Now, one of the most important meetings, brothers and sisters, is the parliament is very, very important. The legislative branch is the most important, but the wild card in this situation is the security apparatus. In Abuja, they have been accustomed to formulating and killing a blood covenant that they have formed with the Americans. They are not in a position, nor many of them do not want to be in a position to negotiate. They want blood. And this outsourcing and this method is not hurting. The insurgency has grown tremendously. The banditry has grown tremendously. We have to change. The Council of 40 comes to visit in Abuja, so they'll have a meeting with the parliament. They have a meeting with the security and the military branches. Then they come to, and they've already met with the legislative branch, and so forth and so on. This is the wild card, because it's them that actually causes more of the insurgency, because they only know is to send bombs. They only know to use the AK-47. They only know to bring in militia to fight against the Fulani in the north. This is what they know. Now we have to change this mindset, and our ulama who from Fulani ulama comes and addresses in Abuja the security and begin to explain to them what their role would be in order to bring peace. And this is a beautiful depiction here on what it could look like in the future if we get this council going. So you have it, brothers. You see how this situation is starting to formulate. And it's a very important that we support something like this. Why? Because it's peace. And also, we all seek divine favor of Subhanahu wa ta'ala and our brilliant scholars that we have in northern Nigeria. And then we have good people in the south too who want peace. We get this union together, we can start to have something go on. And this is what we hope for. As we go back through the notes here, again, here we're talking about the ancestry, what is important here, the flaws of the outsourcing. The strength of the ancestral motto is, we can't emphasize this. The ancestral motto embodied by the Council of 40 succeeds where the state failed. The state has failed because it's built on, our method is built on these three pillars. The legitimacy. Unlike government officials sent from Abuja, the council is comprised of leaders whose authorities derive from scholarship, ancestry, and deep community integration. This is where the South don't have this. They don't have the scholarship. They don't have the ethnic makeup because they're not Fulani. They don't have the deep community integration. They don't have that. Our people are not outsiders. They are elders. They're medieval class and they're intellectuals. This goes a long way when we want to mediate and talk with them when we go to the bush. The power of mediation. The military uses hampered approach. They want to drop bombs. They want to outsource security. They want to use traps and assassinations. This is what they want to do, and this is where they feel they can quell the situation in the north. It's not going to happen, brothers and sisters. You're not going to do it through bombing and AK-47. It can't be. It's not going to happen. As more killing goes on, these insurgencies is getting even more violent and even getting worse. We know how the disputes over land, resources, grievances, because we understand that. And we can resolve the causes of muharaba at the root. The muharaba, as you heard me say in Arabic, this is a Sharia law. The Nabi alayhi salam coined the term talking about people who waylay people on the highway into modern day's time. They wait for people to go on a highway. They're out by themselves. They wait for the townships and they rob them and they kill them or they kidnap them. This is muharaba. This is what we understand under Sharia law and whatnot. And we want to explain that. Let me tell you one thing, brothers and sisters, about this as well. I want you to think about this. And you look at the United States among the African Americans. We have a correlation here. When you look at the bandits, you see the young men, okay, 17 to 30, maybe a little bit older, mostly between 17 and 30. Most of these young men don't have fathers. You notice the correlation? In the United States, the African Americans involved in gangs and other miscreant groups primarily come from a home where there's no man. In the situation of our Fulani young men, it's not that they resorted to gangsterism. No. Here, their fathers were killed. Their cattle was taken. No one's there to protect them, so they go join in these bandit groups. Yes, it's wrong, but I'm giving you a mentality what has happened. They don't have a man figure to help them. They don't have that. And when you start to examine our bandits and our young men, you'll find this problem. You'll find their fathers are dead, or their father's been injured, or their father who is alive, but all the livelihood is gone. The village is literally wiped out because they came and stole the cattle. This is what we talked about, brothers and sisters. And that is one aspect that we have to always remember. That's why we have to look at it in the sense of saying, that they're not just formulating out of nothing. They had a problem, and that problem is dealing with they have no father, and now they have a situation that caused for them to join these groups, and you understand why now we have that. And the choice, brothers and sisters, the choice. This is a viable situation. We're suggesting a return to the past. We are suggesting a restoration of a system. And as you see, we're almost collapsed in the North. The South doesn't know what to do. Insurgency is growing. The insurgency is a symptom of a sick body. The foreign military is a medicine that is actually a poison. We outsource our security to the Americans. The Americans are not bringing in a medicine, they're bringing in a poison. When these insurgencies, Mujahideen and the bandit and the Muharaba groups see these white faces coming there and killing, yes, they're wrong, what they're doing, but they see them killing their brothers and sisters, it's like a poison. It causes them to become and be more reactive. And this is why we have a problem. The Council of 40 is the cure because it's the immune system of our civilization. We are scientists, historians, scholars who know exactly how to deal with the North. We present and this is a key. You heard me talk about the last time. I believe when the Amir of the Council of 40 has an investigation, we will start to go to everywhere. We'll go to the east, we'll go to the west and in the north, okay? And we'll begin to formulate. We have a dossier that to me will be 500 to 1,000 pages talking about situations, why we have banditry, why we have mujahideen, what happened, why all these young men are fighting. As you heard me talk about one of the issues, they had no father in the house no more, or their father was seriously injured. They have no more livelihood anymore. So these kids go join these gangs to go and then they go back to the village and give money and food based upon what they've done as far as bandits. See, so we have to look at all these issues. So we want the council to restore the order that has protected our people for centuries. The Council of 40 can do this. The ultimatum. This is imperative that will be given to Abuja. When Abuja outsourced our security to foreign actors and disbelievers, you did not solve a crisis. You lit a fuse. Brothers, when the Americans who are still there now, when it was brought out and they had, public, media showing the Tuba Americans what they're going to do. They made their spill, their genocidal racist views about they're going to wipe everybody out. This lit a fuse. We've seen more kidnappings now ever since the Americans came and started to kill, and then they left. They said they left, but they still got some there. The Mujahideen now has grown. The militia, Fulani militia, has grown. The call to jihad, we don't know if anyone has called the jihad yet. We don't know if the Messina has called actually for a jihad in the Eastern Corridor. I don't know that yet. I have not heard of that yet. We know the jihad now is still in the West. But we know that the La Aurora is the military wing in the Eastern Corridor for the Messina. And they're growing. As I will show you some things, what is happening in some townships. So we see this, and the reality of escalation, the foreign catalyst. The American troops have brought no peace. It has aided the catalyst of violence. Since the Americans came to kill, the brothers, the Mujahideen, and the bandits said, okay, I'm going to kill too. Since you Abuja, you brought these people here to start killing us, we're going to start killing. We'll start to find out who's helping these Americans, and we'll kill them. We start to have that. Since their deployment, the banditry has not decreased. It has intensified. It's become more violent. The takeover of towns by Mujahideen groups is the direct, predictable result of failed security policy. They said, okay, the Americans bombed, they killed a whole bunch of our people, so we'll move into the thickets into the north. We'll go further north into maybe even Niger. And they wait out the Americans until they have their enough of their killing. They killed enough villagers. Then they come back and they begin to ruthlessly take towns over. This is what we know, and this is and the inevitable reciprocity. We know, as you heard me talk now, the Fulani in the Western Corridor, the Eastern Corridor, they're calling. There's Fulani coming even as far as the Cameroon. Some say it's coming far even from Sudan, from Ethiopia, and even some say they're even coming even from Tanzania and the Congo to come into the Eastern Corridor to fight. So we are starting to see this reciprocity come. The window of opportunity, we're in a final hour right now, brothers and sisters. We're in a final hour. We have to do something to quell this, or it's going to get to the point where we won't be able to stop anything. There's a narrow window before the reciprocity goes into overdrive. When all of these people begin to arrive, all the Fulani brothers start to arrive from the east, some arriving from the south, and they start to join these groups. Look out, brothers and sisters. We're going to have a full-fledged war. And we're already seeing that. We see Fulani herdsmen are killing and reprisals. We've seen this. The Mujahideen are starting to take over townships. The bandit groups are starting to attack police now. They're still robbing and kidnapping, but they're starting to attack security forces. Brothers and sisters, because it escalated when they brought in the Tuba. And this is a fact. So we see that. And we have this situation in fold. And as we look at this, brothers and sisters, as we look at these depictions again, I have to get into these areas because we have to look at this for what it is. And we want to see this situation be successful where our brothers, our Fulani scholars and intellectuals and students of knowledge, they come into Modibo to come to talk to the because this is the wild card here, brothers and sisters, the wild card, because it's these here who have the AK-47s. It's them who work with the Tuba. See, and we're not here right now to Muslims. This is not Islamic class. I'm not going to talk about. We've talked about some of this already before, but we have to talk with them. We got to talk. And this is the wild card with the security and military. This is the wild card, and we have to get them in a position to think otherwise instead of with the AK-47. That's important. And as we see here, brothers and sisters, as we get the Council of 40, get their arrival as they go on an airplane to go down into Abuja to meet with the parliament, meet with the security commanders, and meet with the legislative branch. This is a situation how it could look, and this is what we're hoping for. This is what we pray for, because this is a avenue that our ancestral fathers, they left us a guide how to bring peace to the Sahel. And I think we should try that, because the democratic process is not going to cut it, brothers and sisters. Outsourcing is not going to cut it. As you heard me talk about this now, you look, even if you're looking at some of the Western analysis, they see the 100% increase in violent takeovers and so forth and so on. That is in result because of the Americans show their faces there, and the Abuja showing, smiling with the security forces, with a Tuba directing by how he's going to stamp out banditry and so forth and so on. This is a bad read, and this caused more anger, and it lit a fuse. And now the Mujahideen are more violent, and the bandit groups, as you heard me say, are more violent as well. And this is what we have a big concern. Now, brothers and sisters, you see this depiction here. The Council of 40 and the divine favor from Allah. We have a summit where we have bandits on our left. We have the Mujahideen on our left, and we have the bandits on our right. In the center is the Modibo. Is our Council of 40 members. Then here's the security plus a parliament member and there. And here we have a mediation. This is the ultimate goal. The Council of 40 will provide the security and the guarantees to both groups that they will not be harmed. And they have a summit to discuss the betterment of Nigeria, what it will take for the bandits to stop, and what it will take for the Mujahideen. So this is something we want to see as well. We have our Council 40 sitting in the center. We have our bandit groups over to our right. We got the Mujahideen, fi sabilillah, on the left side. And then standing there mediating in this summit, we have the security and military. This is how we should be trying to get going, and hopefully this will be a situation that Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will allow us to have. Now, what we got in the Northwest, brothers, right now is this. We got the Lakurawa, who are part of the Messina. They're now taking townships. And all reports we have, they've set up Sharia courts. They have a Hezbollah police like these guys. These are Hezbollah police here. They're patrolling the souk. And they bring peace. People's going about their business. And these provide security. Now they don't have to worry about the bandit groups attacking them as they did before. Now the Mujahideen have taken over, and they're providing security. See, this is something that is going on. We have a situation that we have to look at. It's not simple. It's complex. See, it's complex. And this is why, here we have, as the Mujahideen, Lakuwara have now taken over. They've met with some of the Fulani herdsmen groups and militias, and now they're talking about the Sharia law here in this one township. You got the Mujahideen here, a commander with two of his lieutenants. They're talking to some of the imams, and they're inside the masjid, and they're even addressing the women and so forth and so on, talking about the Sharia law and how they're there to protect them. They're not there to steal from the people. They're not there to maraud like the security forces have done. They're not, and they're there to protect the township. See, this is why you don't hear a lot of talk about some of the villagers screaming bloody murder. Many of them in reports are happy now because now they can go through one province to another in safety. They didn't have that before because the bandit groups would get them. So here they're explaining the situation to this particular township in the north. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Okay, here we go. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. And we got this. Where are we at here? I think this is it here. No, okay, we got that. We did this. Let me get us another depiction here as we get close. Okay. Now, this is one of the things, brothers and sisters, I got to explain to you very well. In this township in the northwest, the La Kuwara have taken over. Okay, they've taken over the area. The bandit groups always look to expand. They will probe the Mujahideen. They have done this, but now they kind of stopped this because they lost bandits. They killed them. They will send a group of bandits into the souk to do like they always done. Once a month, they'll come in and get free supplies. They'll go to a township, and they're going in and raid the township. They'll take their food, they'll take their money and wealth, and so forth and so on. See, now the Mujahideen, along with their militia allies, the Fulani militia, they've taken over these townships in these one provinces, right? The bandit group said, okay, we're going to try these guys to see. So they'll send these young men in to rob and to threaten and so forth and so on. Here they got arrested by the Mujahideen. And now they're on public display, the Mujahideen, because this is also Sunnah of this type. You have criminals like this who rob, who threaten to extort and so forth and so on. Now they have been arrested. The Mujahideen have got them, and they parade them through the city as they take them to the court and so forth and so on. This is a reality that we see happening because we have no security. Where's Abuja? Abuja should be doing this. They don't have no answer for that. Now the Mujahideen is taking over, and you see the results, what they are doing, and that's an issue that and many of the press, they don't want to talk about that issue either, and that's why I don't like that, because they're not right. Now, the young men caught, they are brought to the Sharia court. You have witnesses, you have imams in there, and you have other people. Maybe the man who had his dashin and banana and so forth stolen by these young men who are bandits. Or maybe the bandits who have been threatening him in the past, they want tribute. They'll go to this particular souk in this particular province once a month to pick up supplies. So they'll go to him and say, hey, look, where's my bag of dashin? Where's my banana? Where are my mangoes? Where's my meat? You know, you have to give this extortion to us every month. Now they got caught. Now they're going to go before the Sharia court. This is how the Sharia court is actually organized. See, it's not like the West in the colonial system. Here, they will question these young men to get into depth to understand why did they join the bandit groups. This is how we're starting to understand. These young men here lost their fathers. They have no father figures in their life, or their village was wiped out. They have nothing left. So they go to banditry. It's not that they woke up in the morning and said, I want to do it. They went to banditry because that's the only way of life they have. They'll take money, many of them, and then take that money and they go back to their villages to feed their families. So we have a situation. The Qadi, this is what we call the judges in the Sharia court, we call them Qadi. And they will look to examine these young men before they sentence them, or they may let them go, and they may let them ride into society because they're Fulani. And we have to look at that and ask why they're doing this. This is a important aspect that we should look at. And this is the Sharia court and so forth and so on. And we've got a couple more here I want to get at. I think that is almost about it, I think. Yes, it is. I think that's all of the pictures I have. But now you have this idea of the Council of 40 and how it's important. The Council of 40 will come to this province that you see here now. They will meet with the Qadi. They will meet with the Mujahideen. And they will discuss with them. And they're qualified to discuss with the Qadi because the Council of 40 are scholars themselves and intellectuals and students of knowledge. So they can come to the Qadi here and discuss with them, and they can discuss with the commander of the Mujahideen because they're all Muslims. And they all mention Allah's name. So they have this connection already, and now they have come to discuss. The Council of 100 will be doing the investigation. They will send their representatives to talk to the Qadi and talk to the Amir or the Amin of the group, the Mujahideen group in these provinces. And they will discuss with them, and they'll write up a dossier that will be forwarded to the mayor of the Council of 40. So now you have a good depiction, brothers and sisters, of how it is. So now we have go a few more notes here, and then we'll close for this particular aspect. And we have the choice, brothers and sisters. That's important. The ultimatum, the path to the escalation. If we don't do something, we see in the escalation. Brothers and sisters, we have Mujahideen, Fulani Mujahideen are coming from the east. They say all the way from the Red Sea, they're coming into the Eastern Corridor. This situation is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And as the Mujahideen start to take over townships, this is, and it's going to be very difficult to dislodge them. And we have to do something to bring some normalcy to this. The first step to ending the crisis that has gripped Nigeria, the council must emphasize the current security model is not a strategy. They have to do that. They have to look at this, the whole picture and whatnot, and ask the question of how we get towards ending this crisis that's gripping Nigeria. How do we do this? The council would come and they will give beautiful recommendations because they are Muslims, they are scholars, and they have received the divine favor from Allah Ta'ala. So this is a very, very important aspect we have to look at. The strategic note, the Fulani reciprocity. You heard me say this, brothers and sisters. This is the second wild card. As the Mujahideen begin to call on the phone to their brothers to the east, they say, look, we need more people in order to fight the Americans and also to take over townships. They're starting to come, brothers and sisters. They're starting to come. They say all the way from the Red Sea. They're starting to come to answer the call. This aspect, we have to do something, meaning we have to figure out a system to control this. If not, you will have thousands upon thousands are coming to Nigeria to fight. Many will make their way already to the west, which they have done. Now you have a full-fledged Fulani insurgency, which you have now already. And the reciprocity is starting to kick in, brothers and sisters. We started to see fighters coming all the way from the Red Sea. This is not good for Abuja. They have to understand it, and the Council of 40 will explain about this reciprocity and why it's important. See, so now you have this and you see this. We have to make a deadline. emphasize to Abuja, there's little time. We must create pressure. They need to listen. The council must make Abuja listen. They have to listen because the situation in the north is going to get out of hand. And as we get ready to close, the partnership is what we seek it. Our Council 40 is arriving in Abuja, not as adversaries, but as partners. We want this. As you can read this here, I won't read the whole thing for brevity, but you see the importance of the arrival now to Abuja. What our Council of 40 could say to our parliament, to our security apparatus in Abuja, and to our legislative branch in Abuja. And here we have something that they can use, and they'll give these recommendations and ultimatums to Abuja to get the ball rolling and give them the authority, the sanction for them to go back up to the north to negotiate. And this has got to be, if the council is thrown out of Abuja and sent packing to the north, you're going to have a full-fledged insurgency that will be out of control. The Americans won't be able to control it. They can drop bombs, kill here and there. But what's going to happen is they will formulate the north, and then they start to move southwards. This is what could happen. As you see in Mali let the thing fester. They kept on doing what they were doing. They didn't bring people to the table. And now you see what has happened to Mali. We don't want to see this happen in Nigeria. And it could. So now we're at the end of this. And the arrival and partnership for the sovereign restoration is so important, brothers and sisters. Very, very important that we go there not as enemies to the state, not as adversaries to the state, not as a mujahideen group or a bandit group or muharaba or a mafia or a Jamaat Islamiyah. We're not that. We are scholars and intellectuals and students of knowledge. We have Allah's divine favor. We answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We enforce the Quran and the Sunnah of the Nabi, alayhi salatu salam. This is our mandate. And we have to bring this to our brothers to the south, and so they can be made to understand the complexities to the situation and how it can fester. We have to get this rolling, and we have to do it now. I've been talking to a good friend of mine, an ambassador, and he's Nigerian. And matter of fact, we had something today, and we were talking about how we can start to get this initiated, because we should have this. We got to get this Council 40. Our ancestral fathers demanded that this is that's how they ran the Sahel, brothers and sisters. Our Fulani ancestral fathers ran the Sahel this way. And it worked. They mediated the herder and the farmer conflicts. The Council 40 will have this. They will have the means, because subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless them. The angelic order will help them. And they'll be able to mediate between the farmer and the herder. They'll be able to talk to the mujahideen. They'll be able to talk to the bandit groups. This is what we want here. We want to see this here, brothers and sisters. We want to see this summit in Abuja talking about the betterment of Nigeria without the outsourcing of to the Americans. We don't want to see them at the table because they have a covenant of blood. See, they don't care about the life of any Nigerian. They're there for blood, and that's the bottom line. And that is something we don't want to see them at all. To be honest, we don't care nothing about them. We don't want them there at the table because they'll make matters worse. So you have this here, and now, brothers and sisters, you got the picture of what your elder here is talking about, and how the Council 40 is a very viable situation that we have to implement, brothers and sisters. We must implement this. We have our elder Sir Baba, who the Council 40 coming there represent. These are men who worship Allah Ta'ala, who mention Allah's name all day long, who make their 5 daily prayers. They make their dhikr Allah. They have the angels by their side. And these men are deeply religious. When they come to Abuja, they should be given ultimate respect. And as they explain to Council 40, this is important that they explain to Council 40 so they won't be regarded. Now, the Americans will call the Council 40 a bunch of terrorists and criminals, and they'll probably want them killed. But the government must do something to not to let this happen. Because that's an aspect, brothers and sisters, that is very important. And I'll have a couple more here. And I wanted to get I don't see the framework here that I wanted. No, this is not it, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. That's not it here. I don't see. I'm trying to get that here. Remember, I brought this last week. I want to emphasize this. Our ulama in the north must get the ball rolling. We have to have that. Here to the left, we talk the failures of the ulama. We have to do something. To the right is what is needed, see, in order for us to prosper. We have to get the ulama involved and get them rolling. And you see this important aspect, why they are a failure today, and what the Council 40 will do to restore their duty and their calling, their dawah, if we call this in Arabic language. So we have that, and I got one more thing I want to show, brothers and sisters, and if I can find it here, I don't find it. I don't find that here. I don't know where it's at. That's okay. But I want to see this, brothers and sisters. We got the Council 40 going on an airplane to go to Abuja. I believe this is a reality that it can happen, and I want to see this to happen. And as our esteemed Fulani elders, Baba, they're the ulama, the fuqaha, we have qadi, we have intellectual students of knowledge, we have wealthy scholars and businessmen and so forth, wise men. And they board this plane to go down south. This is what I hope for. This is what I pray for my brothers in Nigeria, that we can do this. And I believe this is a viable commodity that has to be explored and used. And I believe it can go a long way to quelling the violence and the uncertainty that we see in northern Nigeria today, brothers and sisters. So I'll leave you with this aspect of this particular segment, part 3, and I'll cover part 4 and 5, inshallah ta'ala, bi'ithnillah, as we go through the road to Abuja and the importance of what it takes to bring peace. Because the Council 40 is the key. The Council of 40 is the key. With that said, Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.